everyone. I'm Brinda Palliyana, a second year PhD student in the IBMS program, and I'm also the historian collaborator for Wisdom, which is Women in Science, Development, Outreach, and Mentorship. Wisdom is a student-led and non-profit organization here at UT Health Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences, which is the main purpose is to empower women scientists, graduate students, and also provide mentorship opportunities, professional development, and career development. So it's my pleasure to welcome you all for the Wisdom Featuring series. And we have here with us Dr. Francine, who is a fifth year now graduate PhD student from the IBMS program. And welcome, Francine. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much being here with us. Tell us about your journey.
Sure. I think you already covered that I am actually also a trainee in the IBMS program, specifically in the cancer biology discipline. And last month, I just defended my dissertation, which was on leukemia. And as part of my training also here at UT Health, I've been part of Wisdom, which has been a joy of mine. I've been acting as a vice president, and so it's very nice to actually get this opportunity to talk a little bit more about Wisdom. But a little bit about my journey and also my background that led me to research. Well, I grew up in a small country called Brinda in East Africa. And over there, I never knew that one day actually I'll be able to pursue any science career. And that was mainly because I didn't really see lots of role models, like people who look like me who did science. But I did have a passion for math and, just science and medicine was already fascinating. And so eventually I moved to the United States in 2014 for my undergrad. And in my undergrad, I did biophysics because, I was good with numbers. But eventually I met some mentors that actually exposed me to research. And that was an area that I never actually thought I would be into, but I found it really fascinating. And so during my undergrad, I got exposed to research. And then after also graduating from college, I got a chance to work in the stem cell research lab. That was at Yale University, and my mentor was amazing. She's actually the reason why I ended up even choosing to go to grad school. She believed in me and believed in my potential as a scientist. And so eventually I decided that I wanted to go to grad school. And at that time, I wanted to specifically do cancer research. And that was because personally, I had lots of personal stories of loved ones who were affected by cancer. And also I had this unfortunate encounter with an 11-year-old child who had cancer and actually ended up passing away from me. So at that time, I wanted to do something that would make a difference in the cancer field. So eventually I came to UT Health, fell in love with UT Health, and joined cancer biology and worked on leukemia. So here I am today.
Thank you so much. This is truly inspiring, and we are very grateful to have you at UT Health. So, what is being a scientist to you, and how has PhD journey shaped that?
I think my idea of a scientist has changed over time. Like I mentioned, growing up in East Africa, I used to see people like wearing white coat, and I used to think, wow, those people must be very smart. Just the white coat was a little bit scary for me to see. But eventually I came to learn that to become a scientist has more to do with actually being disciplined and curious. like at least in my journey, that's what I actually came to learn, because it's not always the smartest person who makes it in science. It's that person who's willing to fail and also learn from their failure. And that's what I learned so far, that science is all about being able to kind of like pursue this area of research, putting together the puzzle, even when you have no idea at the end what the puzzle will look like. But being okay with that uncertainty and still being able to actually push yourself and not being able to fail.
This is so valuable, and so much applies to all of us who have just started our PhD journey. So that is really great. So tell me, what were the biggest challenges that you faced during your PhD, and how did you overcome them?
I think all the PhD, anyone who has actually done the PhD can tell you that things don't always work the way you plan. You initially start with a project, you have an idea where the project might go, but in the end, the project can take like twists and turns, and you kind of have to like reinvent that project. Sometimes you need to like rock bottom, and it's very challenging to actually like see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I experienced that, but on a personal level, actually, my project was working on preclinical mouse models. So I had actually a colony of mice that I had been taking care of for like 3 years in my lab. And so one of the most challenging experience I had was actually developing mice allergies. I developed severe allergies to the point that I could no longer go where we housed the mice. And that was challenging, especially because, you know, in my lab, everyone had to take care of their own like mouse colonies. And so I'm not able to go where we house the mice, and I had to actually go on medication to be able to handle the mice and be able to actually continue my project. So that was very challenging. At some point, I didn't know whether I was able to continue my project or whether I was going to switch labs, and that was close to I think I was wrapping up my third year, so that was very scary. But luckily, I got the help that I needed from my lab and my mentor, and eventually things actually, worked out.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give to young women who aspire to pursue graduate studies in science?
Advice. Well, I think most women, we have this imposter syndrome where we kind of like not believe in ourselves. So first advice is you have what it takes to do graduate school. And once you actually realize that you have what it takes, you'll be able to do whatever it takes to actually make it happen. And so don't undermine yourself, whether you are actually a first-gen grad student. Just like myself, I actually don't have any family member who has done a PhD before. But I found a support system through like friends and other people that I met, mentioned some mentors of mine that played a critical role. And so don't let your circumstance kind of like limit you. You can definitely push yourself and pursue your goals if that's actually your goal for like being in grad school. You can find help as well.
That's so cool. Thank you so much. So now that you have your doctorate, what are your hopes for the next chapter of your career and for empowering women scientists?
Yes. So I I started sharing that I had a deep passion actually for doing oncology research. And this is such a huge need to be able to actually understand how some of these like devastating cancers develop, and also how we can detect them early on. So my hope is to be a researcher, like doing cancer research or any biomedical science research. And when it comes to women empowerment, that's something that I deeply care about, especially because I am what I am because of other people who believe in me, including actually mainly like women like me who actually believed in me and pushed me to reach my potential. And so women empowerment is dear and near to me, and especially where I grew up, women are actually not encouraged to pursue like higher education. My passion is actually to be able to encourage those women and just be like, if I can also go to grad school and you have a desire to go to grad school, you can too. And so I'm not exactly sure what that might look like in the future, but it might look like providing more like financial opportunities for women who cannot afford to go back to school, like providing scholarships or just other ways to empower them. So that's.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your Francine to Dr. Francine journey.
Thank
We're
you.
really glad to have you as a Wisdom member and also being a part of Wisdom's leadership and always inspiring us. And wish you all the success and happiness in your future endeavors. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.